Minoru Kagenu has one singular goal consuming his thoughts: to attain unmatched power. From as far back as he can remember, this desire drives him to endure extreme and unconventional training methods. However, his yearning for power does not arise from a desire for fame or to become top one. Instead, he longs for strength only to hide it, blending seamlessly into the crowd and becoming a nobody. By day, he assumes the guise of an ordinary schoolboy, while under the cover of darkness, he turns into a vigilante, beating criminals with ruthless efficiency. This hidden persona is unleashed when he pursues his classmate, Akane Nishino, to an abandoned warehouse after witnessing her abduction. Akane, being the daughter of a wealthy businessman, is taken for ransom, and her captor harbors even darker intentions. Without hesitation, Minoru descends into the warehouse through a sunroof, clad in dark gym clothes and a balaclava mask. He swiftly subdues the would-be gangster, pummeling him and crushing his skull with the heel of his foot. Minoru then confronts the ex-soldier bodyguard armed with a blade. In a clash between the fists of a young boy and the combat expertise of a former soldier, blows are exchanged and strikes are parried. The ex-serviceman initially gains the upper hand, inflicting a cut on Minoru's arm. Even wielding dual crowbars, Minoru struggles to keep pace. Underestimated by his adversary, Minoru seizes the opportunity to turn the tide, overpowering the veteran. A forceful blow fractures the soldier's arm, followed by a devastating strike to his leg. As the soldier crumples to the ground, helpless on one leg, Minoru delivers a merciless blow to his skull, ending his reign of violence. Having dispatched all threats with brutal efficiency, the masked slayer picks up the cold steel knife and approaches Akane. Trembling with fear, she recoils as she witnesses the knife raised high, only to discover that her bindings have been severed. Her mysterious savior has freed her. Before she can express her gratitude, the rescuer vanishes into the night, leaving no trace behind. Days later, a news report details a fatal road accident involving a teenage boy, identified as Minoru Kagenu. His untimely demise abruptly halts his ambitions. After his untimely demise, Minoru awakens in a new world as Sid, the second child of the noble Kagenu family. In this world of magic, he discovers that he is not the heir but his older sister Claire, who is set to inherit the family's Dark Knight legacy. Unconcerned with such matters, Sid is content with maintaining his background character status. Driven by his desire to become the Eminence in shadow, Sid embraces his newfound power and adopts his vigilante persona once again. His first mission is to eliminate bandits, using his overwhelming power to make his dream a reality. Even a skilled bandit enhanced with magic and trained in the art of Bushinryu poses little challenge for Sid. Equipped with a magical slime bodysuit that hardens upon impact and can transform into weapons, he easily defeats the high-level bandit, reducing him to ribbons. After avenging his caravan friends, Sid stumbles upon a hidden loot cache, generously left behind by them. Among the items, he discovers a cover concealing a horrifying mutant creature. Seeing an opportunity, Sid grins deviously and decides to conduct experiments to cure of its condition. After a month of relentless effort, the mutant transforms into a young elf girl, much to Sid's surprise. As the elf girl recovers, Sid assumes the role of the Eminence of Shadow, concocting a tale about a curse that befalls her as a descendant of heroes. He weaves a story of 3 heroes who vanquish the demon Diablos and leave a curse upon their descendants. Before he can finish his tale, the elf girl demands to know who is responsible. In a moment of panic, Sid's eyes settle on a random bottle of liquor, which he uses to implicate the Diablos cult, a shadowy group plotting to revive the great demon. Revealing himself as Shadow, the one who hunts in the shadows, Sid invites the elf girl to join him in his mission to dismantle the cult of Diablos. Grateful for her rescue, she pledges her allegiance to the Eminence and promises to aid him in their destruction. Sid extends his hand, and as she clasps it, the dark slime envelops her, bestowing her with a cloak. Sid bestows a new name upon her, Alpha. On the day of Claire's trip to Midgar Academy, turmoil strikes the Kagenu household as she mysteriously disappears, leaving behind a chaotic room. Sid calls upon Beta, his maid who is actually Alpha's recruit in disguise, and learns that Alpha is investigating Claire's kidnapping. The cult of Diablos is responsible, suspecting Claire to be a hero's descendant. Beta presents a map with potential hideouts of the cult marked, but pinpointing Claire's location proves challenging. In a playful manner, Sid throws a slime knife at the map, landing it on a random hideout. Despite fumbling his throw, he confidently declares it to be Claire's whereabouts. Beta initially doubts the accuracy until she realizes her own shortcomings and re-evaluates the information, leading them to the correct hideout. Sid orders Beta to call upon the Seven Shadows, and they prepare to move that night. The Shadows fearlessly charge into the cult's sanctum, swiftly overpowering the guards and leaving a trail of dismembered corpses. Viscount Grease, witnessing the aftermath, confronts Alpha in a futile attempt to attack her. However, Alpha effortlessly parries his strikes, overpowering him and inflicting a grievous wound on his chest. The Viscount resorts to consuming a red pill for a temporary boost in power, distracting Alpha and escaping through a hole he creates. Aware of the Viscount's direction, Beta suggests pursuing him, but Alpha decides to let him escape, as he unknowingly heads toward their master himself. Meanwhile, Sid inadvertently encounters the Viscount in his escape and defends himself against the attack. Sid's immense strength halts the Viscount's strike, and Shadow easily defeats him, leaving the cult minion in his place. Defeated and realizing his own powerlessness, the Viscount shares his despair, expressing how deeply entrenched darkness is in this world. He recounts his failure to save his own daughter, who became possessed while malevolent figures laughed behind him. Sid simply chuckles, unfazed by the Viscount's words. In a final act of desperation, the Viscount consumes the remaining demon pills, vowing to show Sid the true darkness of the world and the fragility of humanity. However, Sid remains unperturbed, and their battle unfolds. Following the daring rescue of Claire, she returns home the next morning, injured and ticked off. Her injuries have miraculously healed overnight, and she prepares to resume her attendance in Midgar Academy as if nothing traumatic had occurred. Sid, too, longs to visit the capital, a bustling metropolis that offers more excitement than his current backwater village. He hopes to encounter main characters or even a final boss there in the next 2 years. Alpha calls to Shadow, and the Seven Shadows stand behind him with solemn expressions. The time has come for them to depart. They leave behind Sid with a surprised expression, questioning the sudden turn of events. Sid finally arrives at the capital, joining the Midgar Academy for dark nights alongside his sister. Life as an academy student is peaceful until a bet with his classmate leads to a surprising love confession to Princess Alexia, the most sought-after girl in school. To Sid's dismay, she accepts his confession. He attempts to be discourteous and rude to force a breakup. This did nothing to dissuade her. Reluctantly, Sid is roped into a fake relationship. Alexia's betrothal to the sword instructor is revealed, and she needs Sid as a patsy to escape the arrangement. Especially when the princess tosses a gold coin for his trouble. As they continue with the con, Sid learns of Alexia's frustrations and witnesses her true nature. On top of her manipulating him through bribing, Sid finds himself trapped in her whining. Their relationship continues publicly, causing a stir among the students, especially the fencing instructor, Sir Zenon. Zenon seems amused by the situation, frustrating Alexia further. During their outings, Sid acts as Alexia's yes man, listening to her complaints about Zenon and pretending to listen to her. 2 weeks into their charade, Sid and Alexia take a train ride, where she expresses her desire to be as strong as her sister but feels ashamed of her own fencing skills. He is aware of her dedication to honing her skills, despite being seen as inferior to her sister. Sid reassures her and praises her style, sparking a brief confrontation between them before parting ways. Their fake relationship ends, and Sid resumes his routine with his lackeys. However, his peaceful days are disrupted when Zenon with guards approaches him, accusing him of Princess Alexia's disappearance. Surrounded and taken in for questioning, Sid realizes the serious trouble he is in. To be continued. Thank you for watching Isekai Dork. A quick reminder to click like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more Isekai lore and weapon breakdowns.